All right, so we're getting into the finals here. Um, Looks like Kash will be going first. Opening hand. Oh no, you're fine, Wendy. You're fine. Thank you for playing. Congrats on top 4. I will get prizing out to everybody as soon as the tournament's over.
Congrats,
So thank
Wendy.
you, and thank you for
I have some
streaming.
Silver Tempest
Appreciate you.
codes for you that I will send to you.
Yes, have a great weekend as well, Wendy. Thank you again. Appreciate you, and massive congrats on the top 4. But looking at the finals now, so this is going to be a pretty intricate matchup. Similarly to what we saw in top 4, we're definitely going to be looking for getting this Ninetales set up. That Sublimation is Sublimation GX attack is very, very strong against Buzzwole. And we're going to see how Buzzwole wants to play this for sure. They did lead with the Sledgehammer Baby Buzz. I apologize for the shrinking screen we are having to watch through Kash's Twitch. And it's doing its own thing right now. It will be back to normal at some point. Bear with the shrinking. I know it shrank.
But it's cool because we're all just out here vibing.
Unless the prize support is Twizzlers. I honestly should start giving out Twizzlers.
Candy.
Finny, stop!
Start playing
I can't say that on. This is going on YouTube sometime. I can't say that one. I'm so glad that I don't have chat up for this one. Whew. No comment. See, it's back.
I'm
See,
something right now, so I can't look. I can't look.
it got warmer. It's back. See, back to normal. So just the beacon, no longer cold. Just the beacon, and we just have to say how much we appreciate seeing 2 Vulpixes, 2 Blakes, staring each other down. They're friends, they're buddies. Even though
what's the Blake thing?
This is Blake.
Blake, is that just like the name Blake?
So, all right, this lore is going on YouTube, I guess. So, so Alolan Vulpix has an attack. It is called Beacon. And my friends and I used to play tests together. We would, get together and have drinks and stuff and hang out at one of our friends' houses. And we would sometimes announce it as Bacon, Beacon. Like, you'd say different iterations of that, right? Well, Riley, she got really drunk one night. And instead of saying Beacon or Bacon, she said Blaken. And then eventually shortened it to Blake. And forever since then, Alolan Vulpix has just been Blake. So,
okay,
yes, that is it forever. And all of y'all are gonna start calling Alolan Vulpix Blake because it's just Blake.
Oh, that's gonna piss the kids off.
Why?
The kids are gonna, cause like whenever
Blake.
when you mispronounce a Pokemon name, they're like, hey, no, actually it's said like this. So if I just start calling Alolan Vulpix Blake, they're gonna be like, what?
Well, that's like when I was streaming a little while ago and I was pronouncing everything wrong on purpose. It was like Luigia or Lugia, like Arcanine, Lugia. Actually,
fucking Zabreska. Zebstrika. I've been saying Zabreska this whole damn time, and it's Zebstrika.
So cute. That's so cute, though. I love that. The Kukui's played here from Gabriel. Gabriel Nichols used to say Kyogre. Ugh. I don't play, just watch some of TCGs since 2013. You don't know anything? Oh, no. Well, you can be here, Zhao, to cheer on your compatriot here, your friend. We do have our Brazilian representative and a friend of theirs in chat. And it's great to see, like I was mentioning this earlier, I am so ecstatic to see people from different countries playing in these events. Like it makes me very proud to have a widespread thing like this that's like, people in different countries are able to play. It makes me really happy to see that. So I'm very happy to everyone who gets to play in these. And Kash now in back-to-back finals from Singapore. So very, very cool to have a widespread Riley's Retro network here. The Riley Cinematic Universe is taking over.
Real quick to add
Yeah.
about Kash.
Go
Kash
for
seems
it.
like a real cool fella. I played against him a lot on like limitless tournaments and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure we're mutuals on Twitter, but yeah, he's always very polite and
Yeah.
friendly and
Yeah, shout
a
out to
pleasure to
Kash.
interact with.
100%. I would love to meet Kash at an event someday. Someday we'll get to hang out with Kash Vanderman,
Me
Sing
and all
Man,
my
Sing Man.
homies love Kash Vander.
We do. Now, I think we're definitely going to be seeing the sublimation. Well, I feel like we are going to see a sublimation here. I almost wonder if Kash chooses to not evolve the Zorua on the bench, to not give a 2-prize target for that Sledgehammer if we go with the sublimation. But with the choice belt, the choice band on the active, been playing too much standard lately. There is a world where you could go in with the Snowy Wind, so choosing to evolve into Zoroark, I almost wonder if we go with the Snowy Wind here, maybe target down some of those Rockruffs on the bench with Feather Arrow plus the bench damage from Ninetales, and then you threaten a 2-shot on the active without playing into Beast Ring or Sledgehammer turn. So I think Kash is probably going to play it a little bit slower, try to even play around the Sledgehammer turn if possible. So I'm thinking we're seeing a Snowy Wind here. And that is the choice, making me look real good. Thanks, Kash. Shout out to Kash for making me look great as a commentator. Know the basics, understand with time. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to ask them. It's always good for the folks watching on YouTube, who might not know what a lot of these cards do. I try to explain things, but the game moves pretty quickly, so it's hard to explain like every interaction for sure. So if you have any questions, anyone in chat has any questions, please feel free to ask them, and I will be glad to explain what's going on.
I have something to say.
Okay.
Not really like a question. This is like kind of like topic, really off topic, but you know how like, so people who have been playing Pokemon TCG for a while, they say like gust.
Yeah.
Right? Like move something off the
I'm
bench.
guilty.
And like that's cool, that's fine, but I've realized like because of like when I started playing, I think it's gonna be like burned into my head that it's always gonna be like boss. Like even when I play Serena, it's like boss, you know what I mean? But it's like, wait, no, it's Serena. But my brain never goes to gust because I've never had the reason to say gust. It's always just been boss's orders.
That's a really interesting point. I think, so I didn't obviously play in base set, so the reference being to Gust of Wind, which was the original gust effect. I think that's the reason, though, that, like, when I say gust, because, like, there have been so many iterations of that effect that we had Pokemon Catcher.
The VGC gust switches the Pokemon out, right? Yeah.
Whirlwind does.
Oh, Whirlwind, right.
I say bring up.
Big fan.
Gimme, yes, that's another good one. Gimme. You point at the bench thing and say that one. But yeah, no, Amelia, I'm with you. Never think of Boss or Guzma as anything but Gust. But I think it's, so the way I say it is more as like, I'll play Boss to Gust. I don't say, like, I kind of use it a little bit differently, I feel like. Because
sometimes I'll go that far, but usually I do what Ryan does. I'll be like, give me that.
Give me that, yeah.
Yeah. Here's my Giovanni. This means I get to pick one of those bench Pokemon to be the active.
Trainer Red, thank you for the sub.
We got a sub?
We did. Thank you so much for the sub, Trainer Red. Welcome to the Riley Cinematic Universe. You are now forever a part of the Rileyverse. Thank you so much. Enjoy those emotes. Enjoy the Rileyverse sub badge that I worked really hard to make. When are we playing Goat at an event? Oh god. Me trying to remember how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Or I'm sorry, Yu-Gi-Oh! I gotta pronounce everything incorrectly. Oh, that should be a channel point redeem. Riley pronounces everything wrong for a game. That's a good one. I did actually play, fun fact. So I started my competitive card game life playing Yu-Gi-Oh when Goats was standard. Like when that was like the format. That's when like I was like playing during Goats. So
what is Goats?
It's like, it refers to a specific format where like Scapegoat was a thing. I'm trying to think of like how to explain it, but it's just like a format.
There's
yeah, Goats now is very
this,
different
like, almost
though.
3-hour long like documentary on YouTube. This guy like poured his heart and soul into making about like the evolution of the Yu-Gi-Oh meta. That's a really interesting watch for anyone interested in like card games and like the whole dumpster fire that was like the early days of the Yu-Gi-Oh meta.
And 2005 Nationals format is Goats. So for perspective, I was 12 in 2005 and I was playing against, because they didn't have age divisions. I don't know if they still do. I don't know if they still don't have age divisions, but they definitely didn't back then. So like my first tournament, I played against like a 40-year-old guy round 1. I got absolutely stomped. And I don't think I played too many other tournaments after that, but I turned to Pokemon eventually. We eventually came out on the right side of history, but oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the content, Trader Red. I did go to NAIC. We met briefly, did we? I am so sorry I don't recall that, but yes, I was at NAIC last year.
Yo, don't drag Riley in her own chat.
Wait, who's dragging me?
12. Said stomped by the 40-year-old virgin.
Well, yeah. Listen, Vinny, I can take that sword away. I giveth, I taketh away.
Riley giveth, Riley taketh away.
I'll try to borrow my friend's Perfect Circle format library. I don't even know what that is. Oh no, it's cold again. That's the funniest thing. Oh god. But yes, I'm gonna try to get a little bit more commentary in for the poor folks on YouTube are like, all right, just commentate. Yeah, Vinny, it's cold.
Want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh now?
I'm turned down the AC. All right, no, it's warm again. Heat's on. So yes, we see the let loose happening here. The GX attack has not been used. I don't know if an attachment came down on this Lycanroc already. Have to imagine it didn't, but we should be seeing a KO with Dangerous Rogue, assuming an energy is hit, and there it is. So Decidueye going down here. But interestingly, because Kash chose to play this a little bit slower, Kash still has access to that Sublimation GX to take out an Ultra Beast literally whenever the opportunity presents itself, whenever he's able to. So... oh, and he plays the Evital GX. What a cool card. So for those of you who don't know, the Evital GX has a GX attack that if your opponent's active has exactly 4 damage counters on it, it's knocked out. I think it's for a single dark energy. Very much like the Amazing Rare Evital, but it's only 1 energy instead of 5.
That's so specific.
Well, but with Decidueye, though... because Decidueye places 2 damage counters, you just go Feather Arrow twice, and then you just knock it out. Yeah, Evital GX. That's really cool.
That was gonna be my follow-up. I was like, okay, so what puts out the 4 damage counters?
Trainer Red, I'm so sorry. I meet a lot of people at events, and I like, that sounds... I don't mean to sound like, yeah, I'm popular. I mean, I am. But, like, I meet a lot of people at events, and the masks, too, are really tough for me, because I'm, like, very facial. Like, I remember people by their faces. So when I don't get to see this much of your face, it's very hard for me to internalize who I'm talking to. So I'm so sorry, but please try not to take it personally.
Meeting, like, a whole bunch of people is, like, a lot, too, especially
it's
people
a lot,
that, like,
yeah.
you only see, like, a couple times a year. It's like, oh...
also, like, to be fair, I post pictures of my face on the internet, like, 3 times a day, so you get to see this all the time, but I don't get to see your faces, so you're cheating a little bit, you know?
Riley's saying everyone post more selfies.
Literally, I want to see all of your beautiful faces. More selfies, people. Like, love yourself. Yes, I going back to this game, though, I 100% agree, Vinny.
There are 1 to 2 more games left if this is finals. Because
this is finals, yes. It's best of 3. There are prizes on the line, folks, so do not look away. And yes, as Vinny has said in the chat, Kash is playing this expertly. And like I said, we had the sublimation there. So preserving that earlier, really, really paying off for Kash here. Going down to 1 prize. Have the 2 Zoroarks in play, have a Decidueye lined up, plus the Smooth Over with Magcargo. So Kash is looking really, really great and really favored in the end game here. I'm not sure of the energy count left in deck, but have to imagine that that Marshadow is not long for this world. Just vibing on the bench. And like, what is... I don't even know... I guess the Lycanroc will take a KO on the active here, thanks to Diancie. I can actually see if that has 90 or not on it. I have like so many different windows open, but...
is that a max elixir or max potion?
Max potion? No, you're good, Trainer Red. Yeah, ZDT is not an easy deck to pick up for this format for sure. It's a very cool deck though. This is one of my favorites from this format. I love Decidueye as a card. Very, very cool. Oh, you answered that one. Thank you, Hannah. The Joelle question.
Yeah.
Kash is the fellow... This is Kash's stream, if that's what you're asking. And again, huge shout out to Kash for streaming these events so we can actually have something to cast for y'all. Yes, Kash does just win here, assuming there's an energy in deck. Oh! Wait, is that Kash's face cam? I didn't even notice that. That might actually be Kash.
Has been there.
Hi, Kash!
Kash.
Oh,
I can't lie, it's a little disorienting because it's like, I know this is real time, but like it's daytime there, so it feels like we're like watching back something that's already happened.
Well, that's why I honestly thought that it was, I thought it was like because he wasn't moving at all, so I thought it was like a react thing. I thought it was like I have my follow alert. I thought that's what that was. And for those of you who did watch the last finals, we did have Kash featured in the finals of the last event as well. Unfortunately, losing to Greninja Break in that one, so Kash definitely looking to avenge their loss there and take a first place victory here. But Gabriel, our Brazilian friend here, definitely will want to answer that with a good game of their own. So, and yes, that is very, very true. Vinny in the chat saying that Kash can actually set up a way to play around the Beast Ring turn as well as the Sledgehammer turn. And I think that's what we were seeing a nod to in game 1 with choosing to save Sublimation and instead setting up for a 2-shot on that early Buzzwole GX. And really choosing to favor playing around the Beast Ring turn because that is so important to deny access to from your opponent if you're playing against this Buzzrock deck. Yes, Kash should absolutely get Twizzlers. I'm going to start making that a thing for sure. We'll just bring Twizzlers to every event. Meet Riley, get a Twizzler.
Ooh, also I'll be selling Kool-Aid. $1 a cup.
Kool-Aid, $1 a cup. Oh my god. But then the
staff.
problem is, yeah, but then the staff's gonna kick you out because you're gonna have to
No, they're not gonna know.
They're not gonna
It's
know.
communal Kool-Aid. I brought a jug of Kool-Aid for me and all my friends.
Kool-Aid. I love that.
With things like Venmo and PayPal, there's gonna be no cash exchange to be seen.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid, kids. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, kids.
No, drink the Kool-Aid. It's good for you, I promise.
Is it good for you? What's in Kool-Aid? I feel like Kool-Aid's got like just tons of sugar.
Bunch
yeah.
of fucking sugar.
It's
and
literally just
coloring.
like pure glucose. Yeah. What flavor? That's a great question. What
Underworld
flavor?
Door.
Underworld Door is a flavor?
I'm gonna make it a flavor. I said when I get my G Fuel sponsorship, my
Purple,
G Fuel flavor is gonna be Underworld Door. But yeah, it's
I
gonna be
love
purple.
that sugar flavor. I love that though. We gotta get on this though. Get Horse Girl Hannah her G Fuel flavor. Underworld Door.
Yeah. Fuck, Pokemon probably has that trademarked.
Oh, absolutely they do.
Shadow Pony.
Shadow Pony. No, you focus, dang it. Alright, so Gabriel getting the Wonder Tag here. Try to develop their board a little bit more. Kash's opening hand with those 3 Ultra Balls is a little bit awkward. You know, you don't want to lose all those resources to find potential Zoroarks later in the game. Like, you obviously want to get multiple Zoruas down this turn because Jet Punch is so oppressive against those fighting weak Zoruas. So, what a great top deck in the Elm, though. I think you even saw Kash kind of make a little face there. But, Brooklet Hill being in play, you can go get a Vulpix, and then you can just go get 3 basic Pokemon with 60 or less HP with that Professor Elm's lecture. That was a fantastic top deck. I guess you could have definitely searched for it with the Lele, but then that would have cost a bench space. So fantastic top deck. I think that was probably the best top deck you could have asked for here, really, if you're Kash.
Wendy, me too. Also having serious FOMO about Toronto, so I'm gonna stay off the internet this weekend.
Well, actually, I was going to say, though, I am going to be doing a watch party on Saturday for Toronto, so if y'all want to hang out with me and stream instead, we can watch the stream and hang out together and be sad, but sad together.
I'm a weirdo. I, like, can't even, like, I can't watch the streams as they're happening, and, like, it's not just exclusive to Pokemon, but if I want to be at something and there's, like, live stream coverage of it, I do not want to fucking watch it until after the fact, because I'm like, ugh,
Interesting.
I want to be there. I wish I was there. Or like with Pokemon, it's just like, I want to go play Pokemon cards. And then I do pop up stream on my other monitor. And then I turn it off because I'm like, I can't think.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I like to watch in real time because then I can tweet about it. But awesome. Sounds like we have a few folks in chat who will be coming through for that. So we can all be sad about our FOMO together. But so we did see Kash ending the turn there with Beacon with our good old trusty friend Blake. So
Copy and stream, let's go.
Jake Earhart counterbox is absolutely winning 100%.
Jake Earhart is my antithesis.
Please elaborate on that. Please enlighten us.
So I have absolutely no beef with Jake Earhart whatsoever. He's just like such an enigma to me, even though I have
He's a robot.
seen him in person, and like I know Riley had him on stream, but like, wait, how does he have so much time? So much not like, I don't get it. I don't get it. What happened if like Pokemon was just swept off the face of the earth? What would he do?
I think it's funny, Ryan, in saying that Jake and Zach Lesage are both smaller in person than you expected. I think it's really funny because I didn't realize
Jake Earhart's way taller than I thought he would be.
Jake and Andre Chason look very similarly to each other, and they dress very similarly. And I think they were going to try to they're going to try to like coordinate to wear the exact same outfit and like prank people at an event. And like, especially with the mask on, it would genuinely be pretty hard to tell between Jake and Andre. Andre's a little bit bigger and like built more, and Jake's a little bit scrawnier, but like it would be really, really funny to see that.
In Baltimore, someone ran up to me and was like, "Oh my God, it's Riley from Twitter," and I'm like, "What?"
I'm like,
no, close, but
I'm
no.
significantly taller. Yeah. Ooh, that's a great question though. For those of you who have not met me in person, in chat, how tall do you think I am? That was a Twitter trend going around, but how tall do you think I am? I will answer truthfully. I'll even show you my license. While we're letting chat sit on that one, we did see the Jet Punch putting out some really good damage onto the board. Kash was able to evolve into that Zoroark. Of course, we had the Beacon, and the Beacon didn't get disrupted, which is great for Kash. So being able to keep the hand. Vinny is meta manipulating right now.
When I played this game, no one could get it right. I was really surprised. However, this was before I went to a regional, so before I
yeah. So we're seeing the, oh my God, what is I forget the name of this ability. I can't read it either because I'm looking through my OBS instead of stream because I have too many windows open. But double rare candy. If Kash wants to burn some resources, and it looks like he's probably going to favor ditching, have to imagine ditching this max potion. I guess you could trade first too. Interesting. So I almost would have liked that a counter gain, I think is the card to the left.
What on God's green earth?
So counter gain is a tool card that if you are behind on prizes, the attacks of the Pokemon that it's attached to cost 1 less colorless. Very, very very powerful. This deck has a lot of like comeback cards like Counter Gain, Counter Catcher, which is just a gust if you're behind on prizes. And then we see the Eviltal GX again in the hand. Such a cool card. Not going to be super relevant in this matchup particularly, but very cool card to see in a deck nonetheless. Really, shout out to all of the people bringing a little more innovative lists to this tournament. Happy with all y'all. Okay, we're gonna answer the question of the day, I guess, in chat. So we got a couple. We got 5'11", 5'10", 5'5", 5'8" with 6'3" energy.
Well,
yes, Kash is
I'm
definitely trying to do
the 6'3" energy.
Oh.
Not you. They said you were 5'5".
Okay. Yes, Vinny is definitely, or not Vinny. Kash is trying to do the B string skip for sure. I mean, that's kind of like the way you have to play this matchup, though, right? Like the B string and Sledgehammer turns are so, like what the Buzzwole deck is so focused on, doing. Like the whole point of the deck, even you see with the Ninetales especially, is like to ensure that you're able to get that B string turn. So the fact that you're able to play around it with Kash's deck, is very impactful. But to answer the question, I am 5'9". So, some of y'all were pretty close. I'm probably closer to 5'10". I'm on like the taller side of that, but 5'9" gang, yeah. I think I've definitely shrunk a little bit, which I think like hormones have done that to me a little bit, but
shout out to all the hormones.
Shout out to 5 with my 9 on me, nice. Oh,
Yo,
the same height, cool.
5 with my 9 on me, that's so fucking fun.
Vinny is just killing it with chat here. This height in 8th grade and didn't grow.
Literally same, Ryan. Yeah, no, I turned 14 and haven't really changed since.
I'm definitely taller than you, Wendy, yeah. Wow, this was a great turn as well from Gabriel. Taking out that Vulpix on the bench with Jet Punch, putting some pressure on the active here. Kash is just drawing the stones, though. Just continues to top deck extremely well. I know I get shorter. I know you get shorter as you grow older, yes. But I'm not that old, Vinny.
That doesn't start happening till you're, like, in your 60s.
Yeah, and your bones start to atrophy.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
How old do you think I am, Vinny?
Riley's not some, like, hunkered over old woman.
I mean, I am an old soul, but...
Crocheting her play mats.
Okay, I do actually know how to crochet and knit, so...
No, that's dope. I cross-stitch and do embroidery.
Just
so,
hit the dust before then? Exactly. But I actually want to be shorter. I'm too tall. I don't want to be this tall. Alright, so now we'll see, though,
it does suck asking tall people for help all the time.
Does Kash want to play this slowly again? I think it's a little bit risky now with that Zoroark with 100 damage on the bench. Does Kash choose to... I think it depends on if he's able to hit a choice band here. Doesn't hit that. But I think you still have to play it slow. Finding the second Candy Decidueye is excellent. Can put more pressure out. I don't know that he has to take the KO, though.
Riley, you really weren't kidding when you said this is a very, like, control-y, slow-paced, kind of, like, toolboxy format. Like, all of these games, like, they take some time, even with these, like, two-prizers, you know?
And I think the reason for that is because of cards like the, like, Sledgehammer and B-String, because you kind of had to, play the game avoiding a lot of cards. Yeah, and now you're open up to the B-String, and, like, yeah, I agree with Vinny. Killing the Rock Rop seems more valuable, and now you open yourself up to B-String. And Sledgehammer. I don't recall if the Max Potion was still at large. I And we'll see, does he... Yeah, I was like, he's definitely wants to target down one of these Decidueyes with this Bloodthirsty Eyes. Well, we'll see if Gabriel's able to get off a B-String this turn. Only the 2 cards in hand. Did find a Buzzwole, so maybe there is a B-String already in hand, or just a supporter. And the Lily, okay. So obviously looking for an out to the Ninetales, maybe to find those B-Strings. And this is the risk. This is exactly what Vinny said. You are now opening yourself up to B-String, and that Ninetales coming down is going to guarantee, as long as they're not prized, going to guarantee a B-String is found. And I have to agree. I think killing or knocking out the Buzzwole with Sublimation there was not super valuable. I think it was definitely better to go after something like that Rockruff on the bench. You know, double ping plus the Snowy Wind would have been enough. And you still have enough damage with Feather Arrows that you probably could have taken out the Buzzwole with a Snowy Wind on the following turn. So we'll see if... I'm not sure what Kash is doing there in the bottom, but not sure if ruining their decision here or not. But yeah, it's definitely a tough call. You know, the opponent didn't have a huge hand, so maybe thinking like maybe my opponent has a dead hand, just kind of pressure them. But yeah, and that's the double B-String. That's the power of Ninetales in this deck. And that was the big innovation that a lot of players, I know Alex Szymanski was one of the first players to opt for this list with like the unit energies, the Lycia.
Lycia.
Yeah, so it's a supporter card that lets you search for 2 Prism cards from your deck, and you could get the Diancie Prism and the Beast Energy. And it was never played.
Cards weren't a thing where it's like you can only have one in your deck.
You can only have 1 copy of each Prism card, but you could have multiple Prisms in your deck. Yeah,
but not so like with Radiance, where it's
exactly
like 1 Radiant Pokemon. I see.
Yeah, so you definitely could have skipped that B-String turn. Could have gone from 5 to 3, absolutely. But it is a tough call, and there was a lot of pressure because the Zoroark on the bench had 100 already on it, so maybe Kash is thinking, I want to be aggressive, and maybe I can just outlast. Even if they get the B-Strings, I can outlast them. The Enhanced Hammer was really big here, setting back this Lycanroc an attachment, so it is possible, actually, that this Lycanroc could get stuck, or isn't able to attack on the following turn. So the Enhanced Hammer was pretty big there. Yeah, so no, the B-String is... could he have gone from 5 to 2, though? So 70 the active, possibly get a 3-feather arrow. He's done a few candies, though. I don't know if he still has access to I don't know if he had access to a triple Decidueye. But yes, no, you definitely could have set up for... Like, I think the KO there was definitely very aggressive. Maybe needlessly so. You are playing into, you know, your opponent's win condition. But you are up a game, and maybe Kash wanted to just put the pressure out there, thinking, like, if I just try to outrace, maybe... And like we see here with the Enhanced Hammer putting in work, maybe this Lycanroc is stuck. But we will see.
Yeah, going back to what I was saying earlier about, like, kind of the differences in formats, I feel like right now in Standard, if you're not taking prizes, like, a couple turns in, you're done. Like, you're way too behind.
Exactly.
Or at least putting out, like, huge amounts of damage within the first, like, turn or two.
So...
Like...
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, good.
No, that's all. I was ending with the, like, that's all I had to say.
Okay. Well, so, kind of, I've said this before on stream, but I think a big component of that, and what you see here, the difference between this format and Standard, is that, look at all of these evolving GXs, and their basics are single prize Pokemon.
Yeah,
so,
they can't really do too much.
A Gust KO turn 2 only takes 1 prize. So while it sets you back on tempo and setup, it doesn't actually, like, you're not, like, going, your opponent isn't going down to 4 prizes on the second turn of the game. So, like, even
Right.
though you're losing a Pokemon that you want to evolve, obviously, in these formats, you still have that much more time. So I think that's the major reason why these formats are so much um, more involved and back and forth and intricate, is because um,
It's
the
the one
basic
and two
Pokemon are one
prizes, not
prizes.
the two and
Exactly.
three. Yeah,
Exactly.
so it's the amount of prizes definitely makes a difference. And I'm looking forward to playing in a format where it goes back to
Same.
something more like this with the
Ooh, double
evolving
tails. Yeah,
two
and
prizes.
I agree with Vinny in chat. Going back to this game, just while we're watching Kash play out his turn, is back against the wall with only one prize remaining for his opponent. But having the choice band here, or the the counter gain here is pretty good. We'll be able to attack with this Ninetales. But yes, good point, Vinny. That scared of Jet Punch KOing his Zoroark. As I mentioned before, that Zoroark had 100 damage on it on the bench, going back to the decision earlier to KO that Buzzwole with Sublimation. The risk of letting it survive, of course, was that could have gone in with the Jet Punch to clean up that Zoroark on the bench, potentially. So, and yes, the Buzzwole did use Knuckle Impact. So Knuckle Impact cannot be used again. This Buzzwole in the active cannot just immediately win the game with Knuckle Impact, since it was used the previous turn. Cannot attack again with that attack, since the drawback on it. And yes, the Lycanroc is just sitting on the bench. Vinny is carrying the commentary from chat on this one, apparently.
He's
I'm kind of
super
just
invested. I'm here
I know.
for it. I'm like supposed to be commentating and I'm just like watching and reading like,
Yeah.
okay. It's a learning experience and shadowing.
It is. And I really enjoy the counter gain in this deck, because now that Gabriel is at one prize remaining, that counter gain, counter catcher, all of these cards are live for the rest of the game. They will never be inactive unless Kash has won or lost the game. And the double feather arrow pings on the bench will be able to clean up KOs with Snowy Wind. Taking the two prizes there.
Both of them.
Oh, is it short? I can't actually see because I'm watching through OBS. Kash does actually have games set up on board here between feather arrows and an attack with Zoroark to clean up this Buzzwole. But a Guzma will reset this Buzzwole's attack, and the attachment to Lele makes me think that there might be a Guzma, and there is the Guzma. So that will reset Buzzwole's attack, win the game for Gabriel, and we are going to a game 3. Game 3 in the finals. Getting hype. Yes, first they were colorless mons, weak to colorless, and they were dragon, weak to dragon. Then they were weak to fairy, and now they're just not weak to anything. They went through the full spectrum of weakness, but they were just trying to find themselves, reinventing themselves. We all do it.
Explained it to me like that, where like fairy was made to counter dragon,
Ooh,
but then
no.
fairy was too OP.
You see Kash laughing. The evil tall start. Definitely not what Kash wanted to see in game 3.
Is that like Luminion start or like Crobat start?
No, it's just like, it's really kind of useless in this matchup. Well, it's not totally useless. It does resist fighting. So it's like a pretty good wall. It's something that doesn't immediately give up prizes. So Jet Punch for 10 is pretty cool. But you definitely don't want it in play. Like, it's not what you want to see, but we do at least have the Elms lecture, so can go get some valuable Pokemon. Yes, it is actually a little bit fortunate to have the Evital in the active, because it's not something that immediately gets knocked out from this Buzzwole. It does resist fighting.
Zoroark in his hand.
Yes, we do have triple Zoroark in hand as well, which is really nice for Kash on the following turn. And see, this is what I don't actually like from Gabriel, putting the two Pokemon on the bench, because now Guzma is not an option for you. Whereas if you didn't bench those two Pokemon from Gabriel, you could simply just go Guzma before benching the Pokemon, so you don't have to switch out of the active, and you could just chase down one of those Zoruas on the bench. So interesting decision. I don't think Kash plays, he does play Judge. I guess maybe you'd want to play around Judge. But he doesn't play Let Loose Marshadow, so I think the only hand disruption card is one Judge. So could have potentially decided to keep those Pokemon in hand to play for that
look,
Guzma.
He's got the real one right there. That's so wild. The full
Real
art
one what?
Yveltal GX.
Oh, I
he
missed
held
that.
up the full art
That's
Yveltal
cool.
to the camera.
That's
just
cool.
chilling.
Yeah.
This card must have some significance to him.
Yeah. And like we see the Yveltal having kind of a wall effect here with that resistance to fighting, only taking 10 damage, does not give up a prize this turn, which is huge. You know, a lot of times in this matchup, because those Zoruas are weak to fighting, because Beast Energy exists, and all kinds of damage modifiers, the Buzzwole is usually racing out to an early prize lead with Jet Punch. But starting the Yveltal is actually quite fortunate because of that fighting resistance. It's definitely not a Pokemon that Kash wants in play because it takes up a valuable bench spot at some point. Obviously, Kash wants to have access to as many Feather Arrows as possible, as many trades as possible, but kind of making the most of having it in the active. And we have the Guzma, so we can chase down this Rockruff very aggressively, which is definitely something Kash wants to do. Take away that threat. You know, the Lycanroc is able to take so many prizes between Dangerous Rogue and Claw Slash against the Fighting Weak Zoroark. So definitely something Kash wanted to see there.
My cat has been asleep on my arm for like the last 40 minutes and it fell asleep.
Is it Beebus?
Yeah. Bonky doesn't like to hang out on my lap too much. But Beebus...
Wow. And not much going on for Gabriel. Just an attached Jet Punch. Did bench a replacement Rockruff at least, so that threat is still available.
He does have a backup. Gonna use the Brooklet Heal? No? Maybe? Yes. I'm watching the stream feed, not the direct. Wait.
Oh, you might be behind then.
I am a couple seconds, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm just watching through your stream.
All right, so a Wonder Tag for Cynthia, but I think Kash has kind of definitely established a much stronger board at this point. Won't get to chase down the Rockruff on the bench, but feels like this is a pretty strong looking board. It doesn't have a Rowlet down yet though. Definitely wanted to find some Rowlets to get into Decidueyes at some point. Can go get one here, but having the Lele and that Yveltal in play really hurting because of the bench space, not having access to these Feather Arrows as aggressively. So we might actually see Kash struggling to play around B-String in this game without those Feather Arrows available. And one more attachment to this active will mean that the Zoroark is going down. I think we could actually even see a Jet Punch KO if Gabriel is able to cobble together enough of the combo pieces. Getting the Diancie is step one of that.
Is there a lot of hand disruption in this format? Because it doesn't really seem like it. Judge is in this format, right?
Correct. So Judge is the card in Kash's deck that is Disruption, and it has the same effect as Judge, the Let Loose Marshadow in Gabriel's deck. So there was no N in this format. The only hand disruption was really Let Loose and Judge. I don't think, like, there were other, like, Wick, I guess, was technically a card. Yeah, Kash a little doom and gloom, but ZDT definitely does live off those comebacks with so many comeback cards. I don't think Kash is really in a bad position here, though. I guess getting the attachment down, if we're able to get a KO with Jet Punch, which we don't currently have, we're hitting for 100 with Jet Punch to the active. But getting the energy attachment to the Rockruff, but it's worth noting, Worth noting. Oh, we got the Kukui though. So, no, we're still 10 short actually. It's only 140, right? So we'll be 10 short. But very, very important to note that the Rockruff has a special energy attached to it, and Kash does play Enhanced Hammer, so an attachment to that Rockruff is not necessarily safe. Oh, it must have been in play the turn. I think I missed that. I thought it couldn't evolve this turn, so being able to protect it that way is good. But my point still stands that the Enhanced Hammer is a card Kash could play to remove that special energy and then take a KO on the active, and the Lycanroc would not be able to GX on the following turn. So that could be huge to take all of the energy out of play. Would still play into B-String, but at least you're taking the threat of that Lycanroc out of play. Taking out the Vulpix here is an interesting line, though. I don't hate it. Put yourself down to even prizes. Put some more damage on maybe the damage Zoroark already, since it would have been 10 short to take that KO. And yes, Rip Blake is right. Look away. Look away, my child. And yes, put it on the... I think you needed to do this way to fix the math on that Zoroark, because you would have been 10 short anyway, and now you're setting this Zoroark up to get KO'd by a Jet Punch later in the game. So I like this play from Gabriel. Sets up some pretty good numbers, some good math, and takes a prize card, and denies another attacker, because of course that Ninetales is a very good attacker in this matchup specifically. I think Kash's play here is to Guzma or maybe Max Potion. So I don't know necessarily if promoting the Zoroark with energy here was incorrect. Maybe we're going to see an Acerola. We see a Judge. Okay, so this means we're taking the KO here. And if Kash can find a Enhanced Hammer here, that would be huge. Puffles, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. It's an interesting matchup. It's a very intricate matchup, yes. Welcome in. We are in Game 3 of the finals of Riley's Retro number 4.
The pressure is on.
Ooh, Counter Catcher is a good find. I don't think we never use it here necessarily, but that is a cool card to have access to for sure. Definitely wish we could have found that Enhanced Hammer from Kash, but where do we put this Feather Arrow? I feel like it's got to be that Lycanroc for sure. Counter Catcher the Lele, hit with Band. Yeah, I mean, do we play into the... I think Kash might be just saying, like, I'm going to take this KO, and that was what the Judge was for, was to say, I'm just going to hope that you whiff B-String this turn. Yeah, I think I like... But it's hard to say that, though, Vinny, to say Counter Catcher the Lele, hit it with Band, and set it before a prize turn. It's a little bit... It's a little bit, oh, that's not, this isn't my deck, Puffles. That's, we're watching through, Kash's stream, so that's actually on his stream. It's not on mine. I'm not keeping any secrets, I promise. Yeah, sorry, no, it's a fake button. You've been baited.
Aha! Your computer's
Gotcha.
now been infected with a malware. Surprise. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Joke. Another Kukui. But yeah, it's hard to say that though, Vinny, that because you're keeping alive that Buzzwole with 2 energy on it. So I don't necessarily know if you could do it that way. You know, set up the 4 prize turn, sure, but can you even afford to, like, that's a very risky line to take. Just keeping that Buzzwole around with that many energy on it. So with this Kukui, 30, 50, 70, 140, so we will get the KO with Sledgehammer here, even though it's not the 4 prize turn. And we do get the KO from Gabriel, going down to just 2 prizes remaining, and that Lycanroc on the bench, still menacing with that energy attached and ready to go. See the Evisalt promoted here. Ooh, we could see a counter catcher into, I forget what the GX attack is called on this Evital. Um, I am failing to recall what the attack name is, but we could see a counter catcher GX attack, and I think that's what Kash is lining up, and this would be a very cool play to see. Doom count, thank you so much, Vinny. Lining up for a Doom count GX. Those of you who enjoy Standard are screaming Evital Amazing Rare at your screen right now. What were you saying, Hannah?
When did they... Because I remember Lexi saying something about back in the day there was a format where you could attack turn 1.
That was 2000 and... I think up to 2014 or through 2014. By 2015 it was over. I don't remember if it was 2013 was the last year or 2014 was the last year, but prior to
like
that...
The beginning of X and Y-ish is when that stopped.
Ish, yeah.
Yeah.
What a cool play, though, from Kash. Bringing it to 1 prize remaining. Taking out the biggest threat in that Lycanroc. We could see a swing around. Attach plus Guzma or attach plus a Gust of some kind to bring up a Zoroark on the bench. And use swing around. And actually swing around guarantees KO here with that Kukui played. So we could see a Lycanroc to bring up the Zoroark. I don't think there's a way to retreat, though. I don't know if there's a switch in this deck. The attachment is an interesting one there. And just a pass. So we do set up for a potential swing around at some point. Does Kash have a way to just outright win the game? And we do have it with the Guzma into the Rockruff, and game over with Ritus beating. Kash finally takes it, and you see the celebration, the fist bump. Congratulations to Kash, finally getting over the hump. GG in a very well played series. Congratulations to Kash.
I recognize that other username too. These are both very formidable opponents. GG's to both of them. That was a really good final series.